Hello, I'm Mark Nigrini. I'm a professor at West Virginia University where I teach auditing and forensic accounting, and I'm also the author of Forensic Analytics and Benford's Law, amongst others. Let's talk about Benford's Law today. Frank Benford was a physicist in the 1920s. He noticed that the first few pages of his logarithm tables were more worn than the last few pages. He concluded that he was looking up the logs of numbers with low first digits more often than he was looking up the logs of numbers with high first digits. Benford examined 20 lists of numbers with 20,000 records in total. His result showed that 30.6% of the numbers started with a 1 and 18.5% of the numbers started with a 2. This means that we have 49% of the numbers starting with a 1 or a 2, while the other 51% started with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. The 10 digits are, for all practical purposes, equally likely. Well, why is this so? If we take the Dow Jones Index at 1,000, where it has a first digit 1, we need a 100% increase before this 1 becomes a first digit 2. At 5,000, the Dow only needs a 20% increase to change the first digit 5 to a first digit 6. At 9,000, the Dow only needs an 11% increase before we get a new first digit, namely 1, at 10,000. And now again we need this 100% increase before the digit changes to a 2. So the Dow will have a first digit 1 for far longer than any other first digit. Benford's law works very well to detect invented numbers when one person invents all the numbers, or lots of different people each have the same incentive to manipulate numbers in the same way, such as on tax returns. It is a useful start to give us a better understanding of our data. And finally, we use it together with the other more focused drill-down tests to detect fraud, errors, biases, and other anomalies. Benford's law does not apply to all sets of numbers. For it to apply to the numbers must reflect the size of some phenomenon. Big numbers must refer to big things. There must be no built-in maximum or minimum values. And for example, tax returns have minimum or maximum amounts in various places. The numbers must also not be labels, such as highway numbers, social security numbers, or flight numbers. For auditors, Benford's law is a very useful high-level test of reasonableness. It can tell us whether there are abnormal duplications, and we can also use Benford's law to compare this period's data against the previous period's data. I'm happy to say that in the latest IDEA version 9, we've built in a number of new tests. We have the old first two-digit test, which works very well, but we have a few new tests. Firstly, the summation test, which is there to detect large numbers compared to the rest of the numbers in the population. We have the second order test, which looks at the differences between the numbers, and that's also there to tell us whether something is terribly wrong with our data. And in addition, we have the last two digits test, which is a really useful test to detect invented numbers, and we've used it successfully in things like coupon counts, inventory counts, and odometer readings. In the past, auditors would look at a random sample of transactions, maybe 30 transactions, maybe 50 transactions, and they would base their conclusion based on the results of the sample. What data analytics allows us to do, together with IDEA, it allows auditors to look at the entire population, but not only that. What data analytics allows, it allows for us to look at the entire population very, very efficiently. Oh, and by the way, good luck with your testing.